In my ear training part 1 video, we listened to major chords and minor chords and tried to tell the difference between them just by listening. In today's lesson, we're going to be listening to minor chords and diminished chords to see if we can tell the difference between those. First, I'm going to play for you the notes in a minor chord in root position. So in a root position chord, we have the root, the third, and then the fifth. And the third is flattened. That's what makes it different from a major chord. But in a diminished triad, or diminished chord, triad just means a 3-note chord. In a diminished chord, we have also a flattened fifth. So it would sound like this. See how that fifth has been flattened? So if it was a minor chord, the fifth would be here, but then in a diminished chord, it lowers a half step, okay? So this would be a minor chord in root position, and this is a diminished chord, right? Minor, diminished. So a lot of tension there at the diminished chord. If you want to look at it on the ukulele, here's what the minor chord shape in root position looks like. And then diminished, I move that fifth, root third fifth, I move that fifth note down a half step, and now I have a diminished chord. Got it? All right, now I'm going to play some different minor chords and diminished chords, all in root position, and I want you to guess if they are minor or diminished, okay? That is a diminished chord. Root, flat third, flat fifth. If it were a minor chord, it would have sounded like this. But it sounds like this because it's diminished. Got it? Okay, next one. Minor or diminished? This is a minor chord. If it were diminished, it would sound like this. But it sounds like this. Okay, here's another one. Minor or diminished? That is a minor chord. Third, fifth, root, flat, third, fifth, minor chord. If it were diminished, it would sound like this. How about this one? Minor or diminished? That is diminished. Root, flat, third, flat, fifth, diminished. If it were minor, it would sound like this. But it sounds like this. Got it? Now to make things a little bit more tricky, let's look at minor chords and diminished chords in first inversion, okay? So now the notes will not be stacked with the root note and the lowest note going root, third, fifth, but now the lowest note will be the third, okay? So, for instance, a minor chord in first inversion would sound like this. That's third, fifth, root. Now, a diminished chord in first inversion sounds like this. Third, fifth, root. So it goes from this to this. So, minor, diminished. These are more difficult to hear the difference between because the one note that's the different note, which is the fifth, is in the middle of the chord. So sometimes in first inversion the fifth will be on top, but in these two voicings the fifth is in the middle, which makes it particularly tricky. So these should be a lot more challenging than the root position ones. So don't be discouraged if these next few ones are more difficult for you. They should be. Ready? So I'm going to play chords. They will either be minor chords or diminished chords, and they will be in first inversion, okay? Minor or diminished? That's a diminished chord. Flat 3, flat 5, root. Okay, how about this one? Minor or diminished? diminished chord. Flat 3, flat 5, root. Okay, how about this one? Minor or diminished. That is a minor chord. Flat 3, 5th, root. Minor. Okay, what about this one? Minor or diminished. That is a minor chord. If it were diminished, it would sound like this. Okay, what about this one? Minor or diminished. That is a minor chord. This is what it would sound like if it were diminished. But it sounds like this because it's minor. Okay, what about this one? Minor or diminished. This one is diminished. If it were minor, it would sound like this. But it sounds like this. Okay, what about this one? Minor or diminished? That is diminished. If it were minor, it would sound like this. But it sounds like this. So it's diminished. Okay, last one. Minor or diminished? That is diminished. If it were minor, it would sound like this. Okay, now we're going to listen to minor chords and diminished chords in second inversion position. So now the 5th will be on the bottom. The 5th will be the lowest note in the chord, okay? For example, this would be a minor chord in second inversion. So the 5th is on the bottom, meaning the lowest. When I say the bottom, I mean it's the lowest in pitch. So 5th, root, 3rd, minor chord, okay? If you want to hear what that chord sounds like as a diminished chord, it sounds like this. 5th, root, 3rd. Cool. So the 5th moved from here to here. So from here to here, like that, okay? Now let's listen to some chords. They will be either minor chord or a diminished chord, and they will all be in second inversion, okay? Let's try it and see what happens. Ready? Is that minor or diminished? That is a diminished chord. Flat and 5th, root, 3rd. Right? Okay, how about this one? That is minor. We have 5th, root, flat and 3rd, minor. If it were diminished, it would sound like this. But it sounds like this. Got it? Okay, here's another one. Minor or diminished? This is a minor chord. If it were diminished, it would sound like this. But it sounds like this. Okay, how about this one? Minor or diminished? That is diminished. If it were minor, it would sound like this. But it sounds like this because it's diminished. Cool? All right, how about this one? What is that? Diminished or minor? That is a diminished chord. Flat fifth, root, flat third. If it were minor, it would sound like this. But it's diminished, so it sounds like this. Got it? If you're finding that you're getting a lot of these wrong, do not worry. When I first started listening to chords like this and getting quizzed by my friends or teachers, I made tons of mistakes. I got most of them wrong. And really, I think that is most of the population. Even people with really good ears, people who are really musical, still get confused by these kind of quizzes, because ear training is a very specific thing that you have to practice very specifically. So just because you're getting them wrong does not mean you're not musical or you don't have a good ear. It just means you need to spend more time practicing ear training. I'm going to be uploading more ear training materials for certain Patreons on my Patreon, so if you're interested in learning more about that as I make it, be sure to check the link in the description below. So now I'm going to quiz you one last time on minor chords and diminished chords, but this time, just to be super tricky, it can either be a root position, first inversion, or second inversion chord. So it could be any of those three. All right, let's give it a shot, see what happens. Ready? Is that minor or diminished? It is minor, and it's in root position. Root, third, fifth. Okay, how about this one? Minor or diminished? That is a minor chord. Third, fifth, root, but it's in first inversion. Cool. All right, what about this one? Minor or diminished? That is a diminished chord, but it's in first inversion. Third, fifth, root. Okay, here's another one. Minor or diminished? That is a diminished chord in root position. Root, flat third, flat fifth. Got it? Okay, what about this one? Minor or diminished? That is a diminished chord. Flat fifth, root, flat third. If it were minor, it would sound like this. And it's in, this is the diminished chord, it's in second inversion. Okay, what about this one? Minor or diminished? It is a minor chord in second inversion. Fifth, root, flat third. Okay, what about this one? Diminished or minor? This is a diminished chord in first inversion. Flat third, flat fifth, root. Okay, how about this one? Minor or diminished? That is a minor chord in root position. This is what it would sound like if it were a diminished chord. Right? So minor, diminished. Okay, how about this one? second inversion. Excuse me. Minor chord, second inversion. Okay. What about this? This is a diminished chord in second inversion. Okay, last two. Minor or diminished? This is a minor chord in first inversion. Third, fifth, root. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse because I've been coughing and quite sick for like a month. And so I'm very hoarse now, so no fun when you're coughing all the time. So I apologize for the sound of my voice. I'm still coughing too, so hopefully it ends soon. It's not COVID, believe it or not. And last one will be is that minor or diminished? That is a diminished chord in first inversion. Third, fifth, root, flat third, flat fifth, root. If it were minor, it would sound like this. But it's diminished, so it sounds like this. Again, if you want to practice more of this, I'm going to be posting similar exercises on my Patreon for certain Patreon members, and it's just going to do more and more drilling of these. So if you notice that you got a lot wrong, do not beat yourself up about it. As I said, it doesn't mean you have a bad ear at all. I got almost all these wrong when I first started to listen to them and try to do this kind of ear training myself. So, and I think that goes for most people. Maybe there are a few jerks out there who this comes naturally to, but majority of people, it does not. So do not feel bad about it. It just means you need to practice it more. So hope you can check that out if you are interested in learning more. I will be posting more ear training videos as well here on YouTube. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notifications so you know when I post a new video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please send it to a friend, leave a comment, give it a thumbs up. All those things really help me out so much, and I'm very grateful to anyone who does leave a comment or share my video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you again so much. This is actually the last video I'm going to be filming at this location because I'm moving to a new apartment. So I'm in the middle of packing, which has also been interesting, especially while I've been like sick for so long. I know there was a long period where I didn't post videos for several weeks, and I really like to be consistent about posting my videos every week, and normally I post them no matter what I'm going through, but I just was so sick and I was just coughing so violently for like a whole month. It was really awful, and I really couldn't do any work because it was just like total torture. And I was also trying to look for a new apartment at the same time, so all that fun stuff. So I'm moving to Brooklyn, actually. We're moving to Brighton Beach, believe it or not. So the rents in Manhattan have just gotten way too high. It's crazy. So if I was going to find an apartment that was the same as where I currently am, like the same size, it would be, at least $4,000 more per month than what I'm paying currently. So, and unfortunately our landlord is forcing us to move out because they want to do renovations on our unit. So we have no choice but to leave. So I had no choice but to find a new apartment, and really just got priced out of this neighborhood, which is fine. It happens. Rents are crazy all over the country right now. Rents are super crazy in New York, as always, but they've gotten even crazier. So moving out to Brighton Beach for at least a year. It's a 1-year lease, so if I don't like it, then I can always move somewhere else. But it will be really nice to be on the beach. I found an apartment that's right on the beach. You can see the ocean from the windows. It's really beautiful. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a longer commute into Manhattan, of course, but you trade the space for the convenience. So hopefully it will be great. And again, this is my last video from this location. So moving forward, you'll see me with a different background. So wish me luck packing and moving. Hopefully everything goes well. And I will see you guys very soon.